All right, you are now tuned into the Rotated Views podcast. I am your host, Jimmylee Velez. I'm here with Gabe, Heck, Goose, and Morris. Kamp for Kids. In this episode, the crew welcomes back special guest Morris Derry. We cover topics that range from summer camp for kids, teen center community updates, relationships, mentorship, opportunity, and much more. We wrap the episode up with quotes from Franklin D. Roosevelt and Colin Powell. Guys, if you're new, thank you for joining us. Don't forget to download and subscribe. We drop a new episode every Tuesday morning for your listening
thanks again for
pleasure.
joining us.
Kicking things off. Morris, thank you for joining us, man. We appreciate it.
Oh, man, thank you guys for having me
Huge shout
back,
out to
man.
our sponsors.
It's exciting.
This
Wow,
episode
it
is
is
brought to you
exciting,
by
man.
the Blessed
I like
Lifestyle
running
brand.
into you
That
guys,
is
man.
For sure.
And I definitely follow you guys on social media, so I see what you guys are doing. It's great.
So we'll talk a little bit about how we connected to get to this episode, but Morris has been on the show before, specifically episode 160 and 199, which was back in 2019.
Wow.
So he was on, June of 2020, and the first one was in 2019. So 3 years ago and 2 years ago. So we were at a mutual friend's house,
Right.
At a cigar little party. It was like a
You can put him out there. You can put Antoine out there.
Yeah, so
You know, you could put him out there. So
Antoine Lovelace has actually been on the show,
Yeah.
and he threw kind of like a little networking thing with cigars, and he actually opened up his house for us to gather, so it was dope.
Yeah.
He had a couple of church friends over. Anyway, so we bump into a bunch of people we knew, but Morris was one of them. And you tell the listeners, it was like I was literally I thought of you today because I posted something golfing with my brother Hector, happy birthday or something, and you're like, that's who I need to connect with.
and I definitely, because I saw that and I was just like, I've been trying to connect, just get a few things out there in the community. What's a better way than reaching out to people in the community who do things like you guys do? And then I was just thinking about you guys, and then I come walking in Antoine's yard, and the first people I see are you guys. I'm like, God always has a find. God finds a way to, put people out there for you. You get. I'm gonna reach out. I got your phone number. I'm gonna reach out, and you never do, and then and then you just bump into each other like, oh, yo, I've been meaning to talk to you. You know how it goes. So it's great.
So the first two episodes Morris was on for were titled "No More Pain" and then "No More Pain" Part 2. Right. So briefly explain what No More Pain is, and then obviously if you're listening, check out episode 160 and 199.
Yeah, definitely check out those episodes. We covered a lot of addiction. We covered a lot back then.
But what is No More Pain?
No More Pain Incorporated. So short version of No More Pain real quick is a mentorship-based program. We mentor men and women who are coming out of prisons, rehabs, things of that nature. Right now we are holding back on No More Pain, and I need to focus on some other things, but we're still doing our community events, like our Thanksgiving event, our Homie Claus event, and our Philadelphia events. But the mentoring itself, you don't really get too much people behind. If you don't get too many people behind it, it really can't go nowhere. So we're gonna wait on that. But again, No More Pain still out here. We're still gonna change, be a part of things. I network with Antoine and Dante Reeves with their organization Pact. So we got this big Thanksgiving event coming up. You guys know about that. So please, if you guys hear about us doing that, definitely involved. But No More Pain, man, is just organization that was a vision of mine. 1996 when I was incarcerated. 2014 we made it a nonprofit organization, and I'm just trying to get out there in the community, just trying to make a difference wherever I can. So that's what No More Pain is.
I love it. All right, so let's talk about how you got started with the industry of Kamp for Kids. How did this all come together? When we were having a very, a hang loose conversation at Antoine's, you were just, you got approached. They knew that what you were doing in the community already. Right. And so explain a little bit of how that happened.
I guess being in the community, doing what we do, people seeing what me and Antoine, Dante, and others can do in the community, people want to get involved. So I'm pretty sure they don't mind me putting a name out. Penny and Tim Morton, who run Kamp for Kids organization, they reached out to me, wanting me to be a part of their camp that they do. So it's like kids from our own community go to this camp in August, and I thought it was a great opportunity. And it's our kids in our own community. It's Philadelphia kids and kids in our own community. So why not be a part of that? So, I wanted to network with them, through No More Pain with. So I started networking with them and got Antoine and Dante a part of it. We got a few sheriffs that are a part of it. Local sheriffs that do the resource officers at I think Truman and around the community. They run an organization called the Pathfinders. So all of us together were just like let's be a part of this camp. So the camp led to a possible teen center in the Jimmylee Mall, which we got the keys a couple of days ago. So me and Antoine were at the mall last night. It's at the Jimmylee Mall, looking at the layout of the building that we got. And we're just going to go in there and make it comfortable for kids that are in our area. So, more details on that will come. But it's just, the camp itself. And if anybody who is listening, the camp is like August 25th through the 28th. It's a Thursday to a Sunday. We still are looking for men counselors. So, just got to have your child abuse clearance, So that's the only thing it really takes. They can call me, get a hold of you guys, get a hold of me. I'll put my number and information out later. But it's a good opportunity for people to get involved because again, it's kids in our community, kids who look like me, look like a lot of people in the community. And it's not just about that. And either it's a Christian camp. I don't know if you saw the video I did. Me and Antoine did the camp. It's a beautiful camp. So we went up there, checked it out.
Wow.
So it's gonna be fun, and and we're gonna put our own little twist to it. So again, thanks to Penny and Tim Morton, we wouldn't be talking about this camp, or I wouldn't be a part of it. And there were two beautiful people who are trusting in me to run this, be a part of this camp and run this teen center in the Jimmylee Mall. So it's a big. Like when God closes one door, he opens another. And he didn't really close the door when it comes to No More Pain. Like I just said, I'm not getting the support I need to do my mentoring. But he opened up this door. So I might not be. I can still mentor men and women, but now I'm gonna have opportunity to mentor young men and women. You know what I mean? Who have I may be able to help them. Not get into the system like I was, what I mean, and opportunities. When I was a young man and in trouble, there wasn't these mentoring programs. They had the big brothers and sisters, but there wasn't really that mentoring. Mentoring like what me, Antoine, and Dante, and the rest of these guys are really trying to portray in this teen center. So look forward to that, man.
So who qualifies? Like what kids qualify for this? Is it do they have to fill out an application? Is it just they just show up? Like how does it work?
Well, I know that initially, preliminary, ideas were so nothing's like signed, sealed, and delivered when it comes to the rules or whatever of them all. We were at first going to do like during the week make it kids who are registered. So the kids who attend this camp are going to have first dibs at the mall, go register in there. So actually it's going to be, Antoine, man, designed a great outlook for this, a plan for this teen center. So there's going to be like a gaming area, a learning center, information center, as kids can get there, get resources, things like that. But I was juggling in my head today, like, I'm big with the 2K and the football and the PlayStation, doing like tournaments and things like that. That would draw people in there. Our biggest thing now is trying to find out who we want to name it after. I think me and Antoine are going there tomorrow to do a video there and just because we need people's donations and help to get this place really going. But so I don't know, man. It's just gonna be. I'm excited about it. I stand there last night with Antoine. We were just like floored by just the whole. The plan that we got for it's gonna be amazing. So hopefully we change a lot of kids' lives and inspire.
So is it gonna be like? Is it gonna be like hourly set? Like
that's what I was talking about. Man, you all gonna be talking about. What was I talking about? So like I said, we're trying to during the week it be registered kids. Who registered or whatever. How we do it to come in, and then on the weekend open it up to the public. What I'm saying? Something like that. Because by the time it opens, school's gonna be back in, so it's really not gonna open till like 3:30 till it's mall closes. Right. Something like that. But in the summertime, it's going to be a great. I think doing those tournaments and things like that is going to really bring kids to it. So we'll see how it all works. But
so, what does mentorship mean to you, and what's the importance? Right, you spoke specifically. Maybe in your era, the time when you grew up, there wasn't necessarily a program out there locally that provided that mentorship, so to speak, that we needed. What does it mean to you, and how can you share that through Camp for Kids?
Well, I'm a quotist and I'm a poet. I write books, do things like that. And I always say, to be a real role model is to be willing to share your triumphs, your trials, and your tribulations as you experience them.
Yeah.
I'm somebody, we go through things, So I think in mentoring, your goal is to be that person who's going to help somebody change their own life.
Yeah.
However that means, what I mean? Whatever it takes. I've mentored men, women, kids, in this 12 years of being out here in the community, and it takes a lot to do, in the sense of you got to change somebody's life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'll give you an example. I think I talked about it in one of the other podcasts. When I started doing this, I'm always in Kensington, some people you're helping out, some people, just fighting you. And it was a drug dealer who was selling stuff who I inspired that changed his life. Like, he lives in California right now and actually does a mentoring program similar to what I'm doing.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And he used to sell heroin in the streets of Kensington. So if I can change that person's life, I'm trying to get him back to do my impact story, but he don't really want to tell his story.
Yeah.
I film because a lot of people don't know his past. He just went out there and changed his life. He didn't really tell those people what he's about. But you know what I mean? So if I can do that, then you can kind of change anybody, in a sense. So mentoring is about to me, mentoring is about changing somebody's life for the better.
Absolutely. And related to that, talk a little bit about relationships and building that relationship and building that rapport with these kids that we all have, as you mentioned, for mentorship, it's sharing that past, sharing that trials and tribulations. I feel like the most impactful stories we heard was when it was may or may not have been an underdog story, but it was when someone more than likely hit rock bottom and overcame that, and it became triumphant. And that is what resonates. Like, my story can resonate with a specific group. Your story can resonate with a specific group, right? How do you build that through sharing your story and then inspire people, kids, teenagers to change?
You gotta be real.
Yeah, absolutely.
1000%.
Absolutely.
Kids these days are not stupid.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? They can see fake a mile away.
Absolutely.
When me, Antoine, and Dante spoke at the prison, I don't know if you saw that post. We spoke at the prison over on State Road.
Yeah.
And it was kids who were facing murder charges, kids who were never going to come home. And walking into that prison and talking to those kids was like, and I thought going in there, they don't want to hear shit. They got nothing to lose. They just probably doing this just so it looks good.
Yeah.
Buy some time. But they listened. They sat there and they listened to us. They listened to us talk. You know what I mean? Wow. And then they had questions after. These kids are probably, God forbid, hopefully they, whatever they, can work out, whatever. If they get out, they get out. But these are kids that might not ever get out, and they want to know about Dante's demolition company.
Wow.
They want to know about barbershop stuff. They want to know, I talked about my past and my situation. Yeah. And they're asking questions. So I left feeling like we inspired them somehow, some way.
Wow.
Now, I've been to prison, so I know when they go to the state penitentiary, if that's where they go, their whole life's going to change. They're probably really not going to remember us. But I think one day down the line, they're going to be like, oh, remember that, something.
Yeah.
Because it was that deep where I really thought that we would get backlash from the people we're talking to. But it was really about business and about understanding business and about changing their lives. So hopefully we did leave an impact on them. So
yeah. For what you have put into Kamp for Kids That's Mine, and a lot of this is just brainstorming, and what do you hope to get out of it? Is it an ongoing thing? Is it just this, one time, whatever, and then you launch something else? Or what's the expectation for you?
Well, the expectation for me, man, is to have a successful camp, number one.
Yeah.
Get kids to 10. I want more to kids to 10 next year. Get more adults involved, more volunteers involved. I think that's key to anything we do is our volunteers, and God bless the volunteers. But with this camp, I think it's going to not open up doors for me personally in a sense. I think I'm going to build with this organization, but I think it's going to allow me to open up doors for other people by getting people involved and seeing this camp and being a part of these. They do I think, and I hope I'm not wrong, but I think they do 5 or 6 camps a year. They do an autism camp. They do a military camp for kids. They do a different camp. So I'm a part of this one, and hopefully, next year I'll be a part of all of them. So people need to get involved, man. Yeah. And you know what? Not even to get involved with campforkids.org, but there's many different organizations out there. So I'm not just going to promote my organization, No More Pain, or Camp for Kids. Yeah. There's the millions of organizations out here that are in these streets on the front line that really don't get recognized. So, if you're an organization out there, be a part of it. Get people to be more a part of you. Come on podcasts. Go on, your posts and get people involved somehow, some way, because people will get involved. Yeah. And again, the Dante and Antoine's organization, the PAC, they help kids all year long. And they don't, they're not out there for that recognition like that. When they brainstorm, they come up with a post out there, people support them and they move on. You know what I mean? That's kind of how I wanted No More Pain to be. You know what I mean? Yeah, we want to be one of the leading nonprofit organizations in the area. You know what I mean? And I feel we are, because I feel like Dante and their organizations, we're real organizations. Right. You know what I mean? We don't get funded. We don't get, we have to hustle for our money. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? And we're still out here. Right. 12 years later, I'm still out here, grinding and trying to help people. So it was crazy at this Puerto Rican Day Festival, right? I'm sitting there and I'm talking. It was Dante's wife, I think. She had her little tent, and I'm talking to her, and some lady walks up on me and was like, I know you. And I'm like, all right. And she was like, you changed my life. And I was like, exactly, I was like in my head, all right, I'm not, knowing who this lady is. And I'm like, looking at her, like, I don't know you. Yeah. She's like, you're Morris Derry, right? I'm like, yeah. She's like, yeah, I know you from Facebook. She's like, I've never met you. I've messaged you through, on there, and you put me in the right direction. And she's like, you changed my life. Whoa. I was like,
I just got the chills.
Yeah, right? Yeah, so did I.
So I was like, in my head, I'm like, wow, that's, but later on when I left and went home, I was like, yeah, man, this is why I continue to do it, and it's not, I didn't post about that or nothing, because, some people do, post just to brag, and it's just like, I held that in because to me, that's like personal. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Because I don't know this girl, and you know what I mean? Even when she told me how I helped her, I'm like, dude, I've helped a lot of people that way.
That worked right over social media. Like she said, she's never met you in person.
Never met me in person.
And you just message her back and forth, and she comes out, finally meets you, and she's like telling you about it. Yeah. That's a great feeling.
And I'm asking another guy who I'm like, he was walking with her. I'm like, I don't know her. And he was like, told me her name. I still don't remember her name. I'm like, I still remember. But it goes to show when we're out there in the community doing things for people, or whether it be over social media, just a text, or when you point somebody in the right direction. I mean, people will text me and I'm like, or call me about a problem. I just say, all right, well, call this number, and then thank you, it worked out, or I didn't get luck with that number. You know what I mean? Whatever. So you can change people's lives without even meeting them. Yeah. So when I post things, like if you go down my timeline on any social media page, outside my daughter, everything else is just including my daughter. I mean, everything's positive. Right. Regardless of what's going on in my life, everything I'll post will be about positive things. Yes. Hoping that people get on that roller coaster. Yes. You go down some people's timeline, you see, F the world, God loves me, and it's
like an emotional roller coaster. Right. Yeah. So I had this thing since day one to not, regardless of how I'm feeling, whatever, not post anything negative. Right. And it was always been, if I'm not feeling the best mood, don't post anything then. Right. But then when I'm back, bang. So if you look at it, it's very consistent, just as you're saying. And then you get the funny comments, or I get inbox where it's like, oh, you're so lucky, you're always so happy. But I was like, no, I just don't promote negativity. Mm-hmm. Right. I promote positivity. Right. So that's all I'm going to give you. Mm-hmm. And I decide to wear challenges different than you maybe decide how to wear them, where some people might have a chip on their shoulder and just walk around like that and just angry and mad at the world, and they might have every right, I don't know, but I might, and you won't know that, but because I'm not wearing it that way. Right. I'm wearing it totally different. Right. And I'm using it in the meanwhile, I'm trying to convert it to positive energy instead of using that negativity that's holding me down, trying to convert that energy into something positive and outlet it way different. And I think that's key. There's tons of times where I'm sending a text message to my wife and I'm like, yo, I'm negative as heck right now. But it's to my person though. It's not to the world.
And you wouldn't know that looking at anytime you post, it's all, you're about your family, you're positive, you're promoting everything you guys are doing.
Yeah.
So, and that's how you should be.
Yeah.
But again, when I'm in a personal conversation with somebody I'm mentoring, that's when I'll open up and hey, you're going through this, well, I'm going through this.
Exactly.
So, you know what I mean? So
the one-on-ones.
Help each other out, right?
But when you're in a position, whether, you're a politician down to a nonprofit leader, you got
a position of influence.
Position of influence. You have to sometimes, mostly all the time, be this particular person. Yep. You know what I mean? And sometimes, which I'm probably going to get into tonight, you get pulled off of that square.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? At the end of the day, we're all human. You know what I mean? We all have feelings. We all have emotions. We all go through things. You know what I mean? So for me, every time I'm out there and I'm posting all this stuff, I believe everything I'm posting, I believe with all my heart.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But at the same time, a lot of things that you see me posting about, I'm dealing with behind closed doors.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Not me personally, but people who are in my life are dealing with some of these same things that you see me talking about. So when you have to go out there and be that person, that person of influence, it's hard.
It's definitely hard.
It's definitely hard to be there every single day. You know what I'm saying?
It's lights, camera, action.
It's
at
tough.
all times.
Let me tell you, and then especially when you're somebody who, comes with a past, because they'll always let you know that you have a past.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They give you that friendly reminder.
No matter how high you grow in that tree of success, man, if you have a past, they'll always remind you that you have a past.
Just to kick you down to see if they
can
let
bring you know.
Down. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going through something, but you have a past. Remember that. I was 21 years old, bro. I'm 48.
Yeah.
You're still bringing that up. Well, whatever.
Yeah.
So, you 100%. Being in that position, it's really tough. Knowing that you got personal stuff you got to deal with, you know what I mean? And you still got to go out there every day. So
yeah. And so, jumping off that, and something that you said earlier when we first met at Antoine's, or when we met at Antoine's, you had mentioned like, oh my gosh, you were the exact person I needed to talk to, right? And my response was quick, like, yes, let's do it, let's make it happen, right? And it's a very important message, because I'm going to ask you a question when I roll off this, is to support each other in these moments of whatever they are, the experience, what we're all experiencing, because everybody's going through something, and we don't know 100% what it is. But to explain a little bit, what's the challenge? Because you had mentioned it earlier about maybe a lack of support for certain initiatives. What's the importance of everyone rallying around this positive movement and really stepping up, really? Because sometimes people are like, oh, I'm not getting involved with that, I'm not getting involved. Listen, this is our platform. The Rotated Views podcast is our platform. This is our form of help, right? Like, this is what we're good at. Yes, we're going to help. A lot of people, God bless, a lot of people think they have to help, and oh my gosh, I would love to help, but I can't be a counselor. I'm not really good at that stuff. But what can you do? How can you chip in? You know what I'm saying? So talk about that people can help in different ways. It doesn't have to be
like in this nonprofit world, like a lot of things come from donations. So whether it's volunteer hours, whether it's people, whether it's financially, everything comes from donations. So if you really are involved in an organization or like an organization or like what they're doing, get involved with them, help them out, however it may be. Like my biggest thing with my organization and my board, will tell you guys, I have a board, and they'll tell you, I always said, I don't want nobody's money unless they believe in what I do.
Yeah, that's awesome.
You know what I mean?
That's awesome.
I'm not doing no GoFundMe. I'd rather do a GoFundMe. I'm no.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I don't want to exceed what I want. So if we're doing a GoFundMe for $5,000 and I get $1 million, you know what I'm saying? People get that, they get in their head, what are they really doing with the $1 million? IRS want to start knocking on your door, like, you know what I'm saying? So, and I'm shooting up there with $1 million, but you know what I mean? Like, and you don't want to put that, I never want to put because I have a past. So people don't have to tell me I have a past.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Clearly.
Right. Yeah.
It's you.
Right, it's me, right? But you know what I'm saying? You don't have to tell me. I know I have a past. So I know that everything I may do when it comes to this nonprofit world or anything else is going to be looked at.
Yeah.
Every mistake I make in life, personally or whatever, is going to be looked at.
Yeah.
And again, like I said, somebody's going to always say, well, you have a past. So whatever. So in this nonprofit world, we really thrive off people donating. Like we have a pantry in the Chamonix Mall now.
Wow.
People donate some, canned foods, whether it's 1 can or 10 cans.
Yeah.
Like you'll see those commercials. Remember UNICEF and all that, pennies and 2 cents.
Yeah.
People do it.
It adds up.
It adds up.
Yeah.
Like, so when it comes to my organization, when I was with No More Pain and I was trying to do all these fundraisers, it's to me it's, I had the support of, like, say, the probation department, things like that.
Sure.
But you're not going to really get contract or grant money. You really got to go after private funding.
Yeah.
And it's cool because your neighbor is, me and her going to put something together at Jules at Market, hopefully coming January.
Yeah.
To hopefully get No More Pain running on that sense. So if that comes, great. You know what I mean? I'm just one of those people, like, I wait till I see it. Me and Jules are cool. I know it's going to happen. She'll make it work. But I'm going to wait till January until me and her start planning it. So, things like her, you guys, people who do come out support these organizations, the things that we do in the community is great, but we need more people to do it.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like when I'm doing the homie clause and I'm riding through the Bristol Christmas parade and I got a can that says donations, I'm only leaving with $20.
Yeah.
It's cool. Like, thank you. I'm gonna, but.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Do a little bit more. Or, hey, I can't give you no money, but I can volunteer. You need volunteer. I get that a lot, though. So people do reach out about volunteer. How else can we get involved? So it's not always about money.
Yeah.
And if an organization makes it about money, then it's just, to me, they're full of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I want the money last. I want people to believe what I'm doing, want to get involved, want to volunteer, want to see how they can bring value to the organization. So,
what's your favorite part about the what all the initiatives that you're part of, you're doing? Not have to be the favorite part, but one of your favorite things about is it hearing the stories back? Like on Puerto Rican Day, you met someone who said you inspired them, or you changed their life. Is it just the general feedback, or when you're doing homie calls, is actually giving someone a gift? That feeling. What's one of the good feelings?
And I'm gonna tell you, and this people are probably gonna be like, "Wow, he went that way." When we did that Black Lives Matter march, that gave me the greatest joy. Yeah. And I'll say, no, mind you, the homie calls, everything else I do gives me probably just as much. But doing that event, speaking, going out there, being a voice, standing up, kneeling. I went to probably 40 different marches in Jersey and out here, and being a part of the one we did right in this community, that gave me so much, I don't want to say closure, but gave me so much peace of mind of knowing where my family came from, what my family dealt with. If you go over to the Harriet Tubman statue and look at one of the one plaque that's down there is one of the first African American families out here. It's my last name. Wow. So our history, my family's history is rooted. So my grandmother, man, I think if she was alive, she would have been the proudest person of me. Yeah. You know what I mean? She would have been proud. You know, so that march was the bomb to me. Yeah. In a sense of feeling, and the one I did in Doylestown, and I was standing in the middle of the street with my hands up. And I don't know if you saw the picture, I had the cop grab my arm. Yeah. To me, that was powerful for me to do that. I felt not powerful, but I felt what I was doing was a powerful statement, movement, and I was happy to be a part of it. Like the Juneteenth event, the first one we did out here, like I felt like me and Cora, we were the founding fathers or whatever you want to call that. So whatever, I wasn't a part of it this year, so to speak, but when they continue that on 20 years from now, you know what I'm saying? So when you can do things that 20 years from now you're going to remember, you know what I mean? Those are the things that give me the proudest moment. Like the homie clause, that hopefully somebody takes that over from me when I'm a little older. You know what I mean? And other things that you do, like when you said, well, like the lady who I inspired, that joy is mine, but it's also hers, and I want her to have that joy. She feels like I helped change her life. That's you. You take that joy. You know what I mean? My joy comes in being a voice and really standing up for the things I believe that matter, you know, and my daughter, you know what I'm saying? Like, being a father to my daughter, you guys see, 'cause I share her with the world.
Yeah, you do.
And it took, you know, and when my daughter's first born, I was like, I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
I'm not being that personal on social media, because before my daughter, I'm like, nah, baby this, baby that. You know what I mean? And then I think my daughter was like 4 months before I even posted a picture.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, the last 6 years, you know, she's 6, so the last 6 years she had really put the glue that keeps me together. So
I love it.
So, you know.
I love it. So I've been having a very similar conversation just throughout just me living life, and it could be, you know, whether it's at work, whether it's at home, just at a social gathering, and I'm talking a lot about not necessarily work-life balance, but balancing the highs and lows. And what I mean is, when you're in a specific position or whatever it is, you catch everything. So you're going to get all the highs, like, oh my gosh, that was the best thing ever. And you're going to catch the lows, like, that was my worst experience. What are you going to do about it? Right. And those two things can happen within 5 minutes of each other. Right. Mm-hmm. And so the question is, and you could, you know, elaborate on what your take is on it all. How do you manage from one high to one low, from one high to one low, and keeping almost, not to say keeping your sanity, but keeping your cool and keeping your composure and almost positive mindset through it, because it's draining.
Right.
And obviously it's been heavy on my mind because I've been having it for the last like 3 weeks to a month. I've been talking about it a lot. Right. And so it's coming out again. I'm just getting everyone's take on it. So what's your take on it?
So you mean like personally or just
both? So that's my thing. Wow, so it's like getting going from like getting hit hard from work, right? And you're busting your tail off and doing everything you're doing there, and then coming home and there's so much excitement, like and I'm just coming from like one of the worst days at work, right? And then it's like, I don't want to put that on them. It's not their problem. It's not their fault. And then, or the opposite, where I had the best day at work, and then it's like, oh no, my kids are driving me crazy right now. And how do you navigate through that?
Oh man, bro, that's like an hour-long question. Answer for that question, bro, because it's tough, man. Like, you know, it's tough. You know, you get, like, again, it's like you know, I got an organization to run. I have a detailing business I have to run. I'm a single dad. I have my daughter full time. You know what I mean? So it's like it's hard. Like, you know, we're just talking about them being positive and, you know, dealing with, you know, custody issues and oh my God. So so I get, you go through those highs and lows. You know, one day you're like, all right, great. You know, today was great. Had some work at the shop. You know, everything's good. People got fed. And you come home and there's like Doylestown letter. You got to go to custody court. You know, so then you're like, then, you know, you got to try it, but I still have to walk in my house. Like, my daughter never sees me ever mad.
Amazing.
Or upset, or she probably seen, you know, me yelling, you know, before at somebody, but she's never like I'm good. When I walk in my door, I try to be that same person, even if I'm going through it. If I'm gonna go and cry or whine about something, my door will be asleep and I'll be in my room. You know what I mean? And it's not, you know, and I try to tell my daughter, like, you're in control of your mind, you know, no matter what goes on in life, you know, negative, positive, you know, you're in control of your mind. So, you know, it's tough, bro. That's a hard question. That's a tough question for anybody to answer.
Absolutely.
Because it's like juggling. You gotta, and you gotta make sure everything's right all the time. You know what I mean? And when you do fall or have a slip, it's just tough. Sometimes it's tough to bounce back up, you know, but you got to, bro. However you gotta get back up, you gotta get. Like, I'm going through it now. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So trust me, I'm going through it now. For sure. So, you know, it's tough dealing with, you know, my custody issues. You got, you know.
Absolutely, man. And you know, it just like sparked something in my mind to how that conversation even started, was managing the highs and the lows, and being you mentioned, you know, speaking to your daughter about this, you're in control of your mind. It's being that example. That's what always trips me up, is like, they're watching. They're watching everything you're doing.
You do.
And I got called out by my oldest son for something, and I started laughing. It wasn't nothing serious, but I started laughing like, my goodness, dude, he's literally watching everything.
Right.
And so how I talk, how I walk, how I dress,
Right.
like even today, the little one's like, Dad, that vest is dope. Like he just said it. But I always compliment them on how they look. He would have never said anything like that if I'm not complimenting them and building them up, right? And so it's important. Or any phone call, I can call my son right now, guarantee they're gonna say, love you, Dad.
Right.
Like one of the first things they're going to say is because I'm constantly saying that to them. You're loved. We love you. Your mom and dad love you. And they need to know that. And I might be a little exaggerated when I do it. Like I'm like over the top, like, oh my God, I love you so much. But yeah, it's just like I want to pour it on them because in my mind, I don't know. We all have a ticker, right? And it's like, I don't know if this is the last time I can say that to them.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? So it's just
man.
I'm pouring that on heavy.
Isabel gets flooded with love. Before I leaving to come here, she walking me to the car. She didn't want me to go. I'm like, I'm gonna be late. Let me go. So and that's because that's how I am with her. So like when somebody's picking up a ticket, so I'm like, oh, Bill,
absolutely.
You know what I mean? So it's I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
But you just gotta do it, man. I never want my daughter, and again, she saw me arguing with people before.
Yeah.
But I never want her to think that's how life is. You know? So,
right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so if I can constantly, like I take her out little dates I call, we attend all these father-daughter events. Like, if I can teach my daughter how she's supposed to be treated as a man.
Absolutely.
Now, was I always a good man to anybody else? No.
Yeah.
But if I can teach my daughter how a man's supposed to be, treat her, then she'll take to that. Daughters love their dads.
Absolutely.
So, I think she's gonna be great.
Yeah,
absolutely. So Goose, heck, any input with like being a role model, especially for our kids?
I mean, well, I got 5 kids, so I always say it every episode. 15, I say 15, but it was like my son. He just turned 3 over the weekend. And as I'm leaving, he's like, Daddy, I come with you, Dad? I'm like, nah, Papi, I'm going to the podcast with Theo and Dino. He's like, Daddy, I come with you, Daddy. And he's like, giving me that look like, Dad, I said, Papi, I love you. I'll be back. I'll come back for you. And, my wife is like pulling him away or whatever. And I'm like, I'm driving and I'm just thinking about his little eyes out the door. And I'm like, dang, this kid's breaking my heart right now. Like, I want to go back home. Forget it. Like, that's where I want to be at with him. But yeah, it's you got to show them the right love and whatever you do in your household, that's what your kids are gonna pick up. And I see it all the time. Like I see it in my house. Like my one daughter she's a teenager, so she's at the snappy attitude. And we try to correct it. We're trying to like get on her. I'm like, stop. You don't have to be nasty. And I seen my 9-year-old picking up on him. I'm like, knock it off. You knock it off. You're not having the attitude. So it's like they follow each other, right?
Yeah,
so then my oldest is sweet as pie. So she had her moments, but now she's calm and she's sweet as pie. But it's like, we told him, you gotta calm down. You can't always be angry about the small little things. Right. Like, there are other things to be more angry and more to pour your energy on, right? Instead of being angry, pour it on something else. Like, go draw something or go talk to one of your friends and just do that rather than being angry. Angry, it's a waste of time to be angry.
Right.
So I just try to tell them just to be happy and be positive and just do what's right and just always listen to what mommy and daddy say. Right.
And I don't think kids are ever too young to start learning. My daughter was in kindergarten last year, and I was like, ooh, they treat you like you're in 3rd grade. With homework in the classroom and the laptops. I'm like, man. Like, they didn't have this in kindergarten. I was in kindergarten. Milk, cookies, nap time and shit. You know what I'm saying? Gym class. These kids are like, learning algebra in kindergarten.
It's so true.
It's true.
It is true.
So you guys. So I don't think no kid's too young to learn about important things in life. So I won't really talk to my daughter about addiction yet or anything like those type of things.
Of course.
But I clearly let her know that drugs are bad and things like that, and she knows what I do. Yeah. She's not stupid, but like the cigarettes. My thing is I smoke cigarettes. Right. My daughter hates it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I have to lie to her all the time. Yeah. I want to walk to the car real quick. I gotta get out of the car, and she'll say like, "You better not be smoking," and things like that. I'm like, "Oh man, I gotta put it out, walk in the house." So those are those, but that's hopefully I'll quit. She was supposed to quit before she was born, when she was 1, when she was 2, when she was 5, when she was 6. So, one of these years I'm going to quit for my daughter. But it's but being like that with her about cigarettes are not good, things like that. Look, she don't, Dad, if cigarettes are not good, why you smoke? Kind of attitude.
Right.
So she knows. So if we continue to teach our kids, even about inclusion and diversity, about my daughter's mixed. My daughter's black, she's white. She knows that.
Yeah.
But she'll tell you, I'm not black, I'm not white, I'm Bella. You know what I mean? So, when you got a kid that does that, they're smart. And they're going to be kids that are going to take over and try to inspire other people to change too. So, if we can get our this, and that's the other thing going back to the teen center. Yeah. So, to me, the vision with this teen center too is having these kids inspire themselves, inspire the other kids around them.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
If I could talk to a million kids, any of us can.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know what I mean? But if another kid is being a mentor, like look at football, and you have the captains, and they're basically mentors.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's leadership, right?
Absolutely.
So if you can build that with mentoring in a sense of like at the teen center we're trying to do, oh man, we're definitely gonna outgrow the building. The space we got now is probably as big as your space.
Wow.
We're gonna outgrow that. I'm pretty sure before Christmas.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they're gonna have to get the mall. The mall's gonna give us a bigger spot.
Yeah.
I guarantee it.
Yeah.
So, Yeah. Stay tuned for that. That's gonna be amazing, though, man. I can't wait.
That's gonna be dope. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Goose, what about you? Anything?
No, well, my daughter, she's 15, so she's going through that phase where she wants like nice clothes, good quality stuff. So we just been, for the past few years, we've been instilling like work ethic, earn your own stuff, like earn what you want. You gotta work for it. No one's just gonna give it to you. Right. Even though she knows deep down inside, I'll give it to her in my head, but I still gotta make sure she's gonna earn it in a way, whether it's at home or she got a little job. So that's just, and then work ethic, she's working, and then manage your own money. Don't just, I worked today, I worked all weekend, I made whatever, $50 or $100. Now in my mind I just want to get rid of it, spend it. No, learn how to save, whatever. And those are things that like you were saying, schools upbeat on certain things, but they're not teaching everything true life.
Right.
So those are the things that we as parents gotta kind of teach them and instill them. But like you said, they're watching us. So I can't tell her to save money when I'm just blowing money out the doors. You know what I mean? Right. So it's like she's watching us. The same thing with like affection. Like if I'm walking in the kitchen, I'm hugging my wife, whatever, and she walks in, I turn around and do the same thing to her too. Right. Just give her that equal affection that she's not left out. Right. And like you said, you want to teach your daughter on how she should be treated from a man. Right. So that's what she's gonna seek. Someone that's gonna do that. Like, this kid, he's smart, whatever, but he's not affectionate like I want. You know what I mean? So it's just so those little things. Like, you nailed it all on, but like. She's 15, so I'm a couple years ahead of you with it. But it's like it's tough, and now it's like she's going to 10th grade. She's already has a ballpark of what colleges she kind of wants to go to and stuff like that, and it's scary. Right. She's gonna go out to college, might be another state. I gotta pretty much hand her to the world, let her freaking figure it out. But it's tough. But if you instill the right ethic in her, work ethics and everything, she'll stay focused and she'll do what she has to do.
I raised, in my previous relationship, I raised Macho, Ashley, and Isaiah. And, Ashley was 6, Isaiah was 5, Macho was 11. Yeah. You know what I mean? I raised, I was with their mom 12 years. So, clearly I raised them up to be adults. Macho lives with me now, actually. So he's 32, 28, 26. So,
wow.
You know what I mean? So, wow. And, I'm still dad to them, so I had that experience in the sense of watching that. So when it comes to Isabella, from 0 to 6, I was like, all right, I don't know nothing. Yeah. You know what I mean? I don't know nothing. This is my first time, Ashley wasn't a baby. She was 6, so as soon as my daughter turned 6, I was like, I got this. Because Ashley, I did the same thing with Ashley, that is how I'm doing with my daughter now. Took her on dates, showed her how the man's supposed to be treated. She went to college before she, gave herself to somebody. She just now had a baby a couple last year. You know what I mean? She went to college. She did all those things that she needed to do. So as her stepfather, I'm proud.
Yeah.
You know? And me and her dad are like tight. You know what I mean? We're really close. So, but as her stepfather and her dad, I'm proud of her. Macho, he's doing everything he's supposed to be doing in his life. Zaya, he went through some medical issues with a liver transplant, but even to this day, this kid wasn't supposed to live past a certain age. He's 27, 20, whatever, 26, 27, So, and these kids are amazing people today. So I know that when it comes to my daughter, I'm good. You know what I mean? Like, I'm good. As long as I keep myself good,
absolutely.
You know what I mean, then my daughter's going to be great. So, and I'm not even worried about me, per se. You know what I mean? I'm going to be good. So,
So, to go back to rewind for Kamp for Kids.
Right.
You jumped on this opportunity that you were presented with. So, for the listeners out there, what's your recommendation to anyone trying to achieve their dreams and goals in life? And I want to frame it because we see it all the time, right? People is like, my plan, and it's like a picture, it's like a stick figure, and it's like a straight line up to success. And then it's like God's plan, and it has like all these dips and jumping over fire and jumping over coal and all this other stuff. The importance of, and as you said, you had to maybe shift some things over with No More Pain, and you jumped on this opportunity. In your mind, it may not have panned out in your head what it was, but obviously God's plan is always greater, but you didn't shy away from what was presented. You jumped on it, right? And that I commend you for that. And you weren't just like, oh no, but I got to work on this. You weren't stuck.
Right.
And that's actually really hard to do. That's a hard decision to make, to kind of pause on one thing, jump on an opportunity when it presents itself. A lot of people just want to no, my plan is this. I'm going to stay stuck over here, and then they're missing all this greatness over here. This is the true plan. Can you just speak to that? And
simple, man. God.
Yeah, absolutely.
God, bro. And I truly believe that. I started going to church.
Yeah.
And it wasn't about me just going to church. I just started. Antoine invited me to his church. I said, let me check out your church. It was a cool church. Just, I started going.
Yeah.
And it just, I feel like it was God. It's not like I wasn't a faith believer. I believe in God and I'm a Christian. But I just started going to church. I started praying when I'm at church.
Yeah.
When they they're saying to pray, I'm literally took the opportunity to pray.
Yeah.
And again, just you get the No More Pains now. 8 years in of trying to get funded.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
That's a long time.
Pounding the pavement, putting yourself out there. Hey, that's what I'm doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
for sure.
Just the right people are biting, but they're only biting to a certain degree.
Right.
And then they fall off. So I was literally. Kind of almost how you guys play. I saw a post and that same night I'm seeing you guys.
Yeah.
It was kind of, I'm like, damn, man, I'm making a decision with my board. I have a board, so everything I do is in a board.
Yeah.
So I'm talking to my president, and I'm just like, I'm thinking about so my last fundraiser I had in April.
Yeah.
15 people showed up.
Yeah.
Bad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Really bad.
Yeah.
Really bad. When I put so much money and time and energy into it.
Yes.
It was not good.
Yeah.
Not good. So I kind of was like, you know what? It's time to chill.
Yeah.
But that opportunity presented itself before that. You know what I mean? But it was more like God pushing me that way. All right, look, you still can do No More Pain, but why don't you check what these people are offering you?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It may go, some may not. You know what I mean? But again, if it doesn't, I don't care. The experience that they're giving me it's gonna help me, bro. It's just not even on a resume, just in general in life and just knowledge.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You're gonna let me go to a camp and be a camp counselor for all these different kids. You're open the door for me to really change so many lives, bro. You know what I mean? When we're adults, like I said, mentoring adults is great. You can change people's lives.
Yeah.
But if you could get a kid
early on, it's a big difference.
There's a difference. So, being a part of those things and having that opportunity is just a blessing. I think it's all God, bro.
Yeah.
All God. The teen center, God. Me and Antoine's relationship and how we connected.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
That started off with me. I used to do, every Thanksgiving, I would give my turkey plate.
Yeah.
As soon as we prayed over our meal, I would take that turkey plate, leave, drive to Philly, give it to the homeless guy, come back, make me a different plate, and sit down and eat what I found.
Wow.
Every Thanksgiving.
Wow.
So I was like, damn, how can I make that bigger?
Yeah.
You know, saw Antoine at the shop. I'm like, yo, Thanksgiving. I usually do this one family, man. I'm trying to do more. All right, let's do 25. All right, so 25 turned out to be 100. You know what I mean? So that's how that connection with me and Antoine started, and then putting Dante in the mix, and Dante's connection in his brain, and you know what I mean. You know, it's a no-brainer. So all three of us, three amigos, whatever you want to call us, together that. So everything I do is try to inspire, and I hope I'm pretty sure they feel the same way about me. It's like, every person I talk to or network with, I want to be able to inspire. To do other things. And if I inspired Antoine and Dante, then that's my goal was accomplished. And I found brothers. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So it's deeper than that. Connection is deeper than anybody will ever know. So when you see us doing these videos, we're all serious about it. We really want people to donate and be a part of it. And just again, I'll go back to it, get involved. Man. It's the most important thing you can do in your own community is get involved.
Yes.
Yep.
Regardless if you're in Newtown or Bristol Borough, whether you're in Bensalem or one of these other rich neighborhoods up north, whatever, get involved. Because somebody's going through something, whether it's domestic violence, whether it's drugs and alcohol. Like I used to say when we talk about Kensington before, you rip a blanket off of Bucks County, it's going to look like Kensington. We just up here, it's more covered and sheltered. So, get involved in those things. Like, I'm not going to stop talking about addiction. I'm not going to stop talking about racism and inclusion and diversity. You know what I mean? I'm always going to be a voice for those things. Like even with the women's rights, I'm somebody who went through 5 different girls who made a decision to abort when I wanted to be a father, and I'm still for women's rights. So I don't. You get in these violent things, you got to think of what's positive, what's right, what's going to influence people, what's going to change lives. So when to know my whole story, which I'm working with somebody who's going to actually help me tell it. My story's deep, and all these different things that you see me talking about, I either experience it personally or somebody who I know is going through it. So, I mean, I don't know if I was on track with the question, man.
Yeah, no, absolutely, it was perfect.
I go. So don't mind me. If you don't shut me up, I'll talk, man. It'll be a 2-hour podcast.
So if folks wanted to reach out to you for all the initiatives that you're involved in or anything, what's the best way they can connect with you?
Call me. 215-416-5248. My email is just nomorepain.inc215@gmail.com or Facebook Messenger. Any way you can get to me, through a friend. A friend knows a friend knows me. Get to me, man. Because through that experience I just shared with you guys at the Puerto Rican Day Parade, hopefully there's more people out there who felt that way. Not just about me, about anybody who changed their lives. You know what I mean? I'm not selfish when I come to anything I do in the community. I want to network with anybody. You know what I mean? I want to do these things. So get at me, reach me however you can. Like again, tomorrow night we got the Comedy Meets Poetry IMD put together from our organization over here at King George. So that's going to be awesome. So I know the tickets are sold out there, so I'm not really promoting it, but if you bought tickets for that, you'll see me over there because he's donating money to my organization from that. So that's going to be great. So IMD, thank you. Again, we got the Kamp for Kids. That's August 25th through the 28th. We still look for men counselors. These are kids from the age of 8 to 17. The teen center, we need volunteers for that. We got pantry at the Chamonix Mall. We need donations for that. Get at me, man. And see me in the community. And again, I do a lot of talking and speak. So if people need me to come to speak at places or schools, me, Antoine, Dante, we do that together. So we want to get out here more in the prisons and the jails and the schools and talk. When the heroin epidemic was going big, they were in the schools. In the Chamonix, stand up in the Chamonix. I was a part of all that. They got away from it, like addiction is still not existing in our community. So, we got to continue to, like I always say, like even with the Black Lives Matter, don't fall off from speaking about it. Because as soon as you're quiet, something's going to happen. And then you got to get back out there. Black Lives Matter, Black Lives. Keep talking about it. Keep talking about inclusion and diversity. Keep being a voice. No matter if they keep telling you, you have a past. I don't care. Don't let that stop you from continuing to move forward. We're all going to fall. We're going to trip. I got caught up, a couple months ago, that I got to take accountability for my actions and move on.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what I do in my life. I move on. So at 21 years old, I went to jail for 5.5 years.
Wow.
You know what I mean? On 112 charges. Of course, somebody's going to tell me 20 years from now, remember, you have a past.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Of course.
So, but I tell myself that every day. Like I said earlier, I already tell myself that.
Yeah.
Morris, why aren't you where you man, stupid decision you made at 21. So if I can go back to a kid who's 20 years old and say, hey, at 21, I made these mistakes, and here I am at 48, still reaping from that shit. If that can't change somebody's mind, then they're on their own. And I'll tell them, if I can't change your mind, then you're on your own, bro. You want to wait till you're 48 you're still trying to figure it out? I'm still trying to figure it out. I'm about detailing, it's the weather, all this stuff with the gas, ain't doing as good. So, I go through these things. I got to make it work, but it's God. Yeah. Every month God provides, so I pay my bills. God will come through. Yeah. So as long as you have whatever faith you are and believe in it and stay positive, you'll change the world. So I love it. That.
No, when he was, it just clicked into my head when he was saying like, I know I got to pass. It just reminded me of Eminem and the 8 Mile. Like they battle each other.
Right. Yeah.
He poured out all his guts. Yeah, I'm a skinny white guy, blah blah, whatever. And like he just went off, and then he stopped. He's like, now what do you got to say?
Right.
And no, they couldn't even battle him. They had nothing to say. He shut everyone up. He just poured out all his dirt out there. Right. It's like, all right, now what? How you gonna clown me now? How you gonna clown me? I just told you everything.
I'm working on this poem called "Walking While Black." All right, and it's basically about when all this Black Lives Matter started recently. Bucks County and all that. They put this video out called "Walking While Black," and it dictates being black in the community, right, and how you're treated unfairly and all these things, right. So it's funny how things I'm going through. It's like almost like, well, what happened to Walking While Black? So I'm in the process of writing this dope ass poem. So it's gonna be fast. So I'll spit some of it, but I don't got it all together. But once I put it together, man, I put it out there. It's gonna explain, because when I post a poem that's about me, I always say this one's a real one. If it ain't about me, I always give it the backdrop, because I'll write a poem about addiction. Somebody's calling my phone. Yo, you okay? Yo, it's a poem, bro. Yeah. So I started putting this poem was a story once told to me.
Sure.
So people don't start calling. Bro, trust me. You okay? Bro, it's a poem, bro. Who writes a poem of suicide? And I'm good. But but this poem, man, just basically, I was gonna do it like you said, like putting it out there. That's why. Remember, I told you I got some stuff to get off my chest. That's what basically what you were saying. Like I'm gonna tell the world what's going on. Like you see Morris Derry out there. He's doing these things in the community. That's what he does. But he's still human.
Right.
I'm not who am I? Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm Morris Derry from No More Pain. Yeah. You know what I mean? Who am I? I'm not Allen Iverson or, it's Donald Trump or nobody big. Nobody big. I'm Morris Derry. So if I still got to be like, come on, bro. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, it's all just crazy. There's people watching. Nice. But it's all crazy. So I don't know why I was going with that. I just threw myself off again. But
any final words?
My final words would be this, man. Honestly, man. Stay who you are, man. Be real. Never change who you are. Never be afraid to ask for help. Never be afraid to seek help. I say that because I'm somebody who, sometimes I got to seek help. Hey, sometimes I got to go here. Sometimes I got to go talk to somebody myself. Hey, I need to talk to somebody. You're never, and again, I'll leave with that quote I said. To be a real role model is to be willing to share your triumphs and your trials and tribulations as you experience them. I want the world to see me. I'll always post about my good sides, but if I'm going through something and I post about it, then I'm real.
Yeah,
for sure. What I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'll leave it with that.
I love it. Right. Thanks for joining us.
I want to hear this Theodore Roosevelt quote.
Yeah. All right, so we like to close things out with quotes, and the first one is by Franklin Roosevelt.
Franklin, my bad.
That's all right. The only limit to our realization of tomorrow will be our doubts of today. And the second one by Colin Powell. There are no secrets to success. It is the result of preparation, hard work, and learning from failure. Camp for Kids. In this episode, the crew welcomes back special guest Morris Derry. We cover topics that range from summer camp for kids, teen center community updates, relationships, mentorship, opportunity, and much more. We wrap the episode up with quotes from Franklin D. Roosevelt and Colin Powell. Awesome. Guys, thanks again for joining us. The Rotated Views podcast was produced for self-development purposes. Huge shout out to our sponsors. This episode is brought to you by the Blessed Lifestyle brand. That is BL3SSED.com. Also sponsored by the Motivation Files Unleashed. This motivational mixtape will be your fuel for success. Available on all platforms. Guys, don't forget to visit the website, JimmyLeeVelez.com. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Rotated Views. If you have any inquiries or questions, email us at info@JimmyLeeVelez.com. On behalf of myself and the rest of the crew, we wish you massive success. Stay blessed.